Hello everyone, this is Flammy. We're back for part 10. So we got something special going on today, but unfortunately we lost the audio for it, so this right here is a re-record of the audio. In a previous video I lost the video and had to re-record that, now we gotta re-record the audio. So I'm gonna try to do my best to say the same sort of stuff that I said before, because I can't actually change the video, so I'm gonna try to remember what I was saying. So at the first I want to answer the question that I talked about in part 9, which is why do I only have one collector for gold and one storage for gold and one storage for elixir? Well, the answer to that is pretty simple. It's easier to defend when you only have one of each. So what do I mean by this? Well, if you got two of them, they're still going to take up the same room in your base. There's still 3x3 units. So I could go get another one, as I showed earlier. I pulled it up. An extra elixir storage and extra gold storage, but I prefer to only get one for the easier to defend. Eventually, I'm going to actually have to have two of each. So, for example, when I'm going to go from Town Hall level 5, I'm currently 4, to number 6, I'm going to need to get an extra gold storage, because you cannot physically have enough gold, hold it enough to start that construction without it. So, it's not really an issue if you have two, though, even at this point in the game. Almost everyone who's new will have two. It just logically makes sense to have two. They're cheaper and faster to upgrade than only having one, but the advantage of having two is, as I said, easier to defend. As you saw right there, I can't actually upgrade my gold storage anymore, so I need to upgrade it once more. But fortunately, the current upgrade costs, the current Town Hall upgrade costs 150,000, and we've got 250,000 maximum storage gold currently. Okay, so moving on. What we're doing today is going to be a raid. Raids are different than attacks because the goal is not to win at all. In fact, you expect to lose. And actually, you're going to lose in almost every circumstance. And if you do win, it's only because you happen to pick off 50% of their buildings pretty much by accident. So, a raid. So, I had a raid in the previous video, but this one is going to be a special raid. This is going to be a revenge raid. The advantage of revenge raids is you can go through your recent attacks, and you can look to see who doesn't have a shield and who isn't online, and who has resources to steal. So I went through these recent matches, and I found one which met all those requirements. They were not online, they had resources to steal, and they did not have a shield. So here I'm going to be loading up the base. So you can just come through, and you should hit the revenge button each one, and most of them will pop up saying you can't attack it. Go until the one of them loads. Then first thing you look at, do they have enough resources? Oh, and this guy, boy, does he ever. He's at 85,000 gold, and he's got 224,000. There we go. Elixir. Okay. And the key part about this is I'll never be able to take this base on. This guy is Town Hall level 7. So, the question is, will I be able to steal his resources, though, in a raid? So I'm not going to actually attack him right now, but you can see the army I'm going to use, and we can look at his base and plan. So I came in here and planned, and built this army specifically for him, which is why I have extra goblins and such, and extra barbarians, and less giants than normal. That's exactly just for this guy. So, what are we going to do? Well, the key part of this is you can see on the left side of his elixir storage, there's a hole in his spawn points. The red lines, they show that you can spawn there, and we will be taking advantage of this hole. Now, there's actually a problem that this could actually not be a spawn point. So there's a advanced defense called a Hidden Tesla. Hidden Teslas are 2x2 units, so they're the same size as builders' huts, and you can't actually see them when you're attacking until you get close to them. Your units get close to them, then they deploy. So you can see his Town Hall level 7 right here. He can build one Hidden Tesla, and there's a chance there is a Hidden Tesla hiding under that apparent spawn point. And it doesn't change the spawn display, so you would think you can spawn there, and you click there, and then it says can't spawn here, despite the fact that the red lines show that you can't. But you wouldn't be able to spawn there until after, I think the Tesla's destroyed. I think you can spawn there afterwards. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to quit out of this match, and we're going to come back here. We're going to go revenge him in a second, but here's the army as I was mentioning, and we're going to keep this. We've only got our 75 units. And the goal is to spawn in that spawn point in his base and collect as much resources as possible from those storages, which are all very full and all right next to where we're going to be spawning. In a second here, I'm going to go show you another tip. When you're doing revenge raiding, the best part about it is you can spectate their base and look for weaknesses and look for how the units how the defenses cover each other, how their range works. This is because you can visit their base. You're not just randomly searching for matches. You are specifically attacking one base, which means not only do you do that, but you can also tailor your army to them in particular, which is absolutely a very major advantage. So I'm just, I can't remember what I'm talking about here, but oh yes. So the goblins, we've got a lot of goblins in this one. So goblins do 2 times damage against resources. My unupgraded goblins do 11 as base damage, and then double that to get 22 per each resource building. By comparison, as you just saw, I was pulling up the barbarians. My level 2 barbarians, so they've been upgraded once, do 11 base damage, which is the same, but they don't do that double damage. So goblins are twice as effective, well, more than, because they're not even upgraded against stealing resources. They don't have as much health though, so I'll be deploying both goblins and barbarians in this attack. I'll also be throwing down a few archers for distraction, but first I'll be leading with these giants. The giants, they got more health, so they'll be soaking up the damage. Although, as you saw, and as we'll see again in a second, this guy's base is very, very high level. So we are going to die very, 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 very quickly. So here we are, level 48. Let's pull him up again. So this time we're visiting. This isn't an attack. You'll see that there's not a surrender button. There's no unit bar at the bottom. You can't see how many resources we can steal on the left. There's no red lines, but what we can do is we can select his buildings, and we can see the range of them. So right now we're looking at what of his splash damage buildings can attack that spawn point. That wizard tower cannot, but these other 3 mortars all can, and this wizard tower on the top left can, which means as soon as anything spawns there, all those splash damage buildings are going to be attacking it immediately. Not to mention all of the non-splash damage buildings, the cannons and the archer towers on the left and bottom especially. They'll all immediately be firing on whatever spawns there, so it is going to be a calamity, a catastrophe of death right here at this teeny little spawn point. The splash damage matters the most though, because we're going to be spawning guys in a tight area. The splash damage is going to be what takes them out, not the single shot buildings. So, as I said, you can come into people's bases and you can spectate how their defenses work before you attack. So you can, for example, see if they have weaknesses. So normally we wouldn't be looking at like necessarily a hole in their base. You can raid people who don't have holes in their base for wrenches. So for example, if we're just attacking this guy normally, we can say like, hey, I've got, say, wonder if I could build 12 balloons and attack this guy. How would that turn out? So so he's got an air defense here. So say we wanted to bring our 12 balloons in, could we pick that air defense off with turrets or with archers prior? So let's ignore the cannon or the mortar for a second, but look at this cannon and let's look at this archer tower right on the bottom here. Could we pick off this air defense with these 2 buildings and that being their range? Well, we can look at where their maximum range is. I'm clicking right there, and the answer is no. Archers would not be able to pick off this air defense. So then we can cross off the possible list of options. We can't use a mass balloon attack against this guy. That bottom air defense is too well covered. We can also spectate his army, see what his upgrades are, just more in case we're curious. This is the general visiting sort of interface, so you can visit people who speak in general chat or clan chat the exact same way. Or you can spectate them on the leaderboards, just to see how well upgraded they are, where their defenses are laid out, what sort of stuff they have. Very useful sort of stuff. So now we're going to do the actual attack. I don't expect this will take very long, but hopefully we will get lots of resources from it, or at least enough resources to make us consider it worth the attack. Okay, here we go. I haven't changed our army at all. We're going to be, once again, leading with the giants, immediately placing down barbarians and goblins after that. Okay, giants go. Okay, yeah, they're dying super fast. They pretty much get one-shotted by all the stuff. The goblins are already down and stealing stuff, and here come the barbarians. Probably should have put down the barbarians first, because they would have spread out a little bit more. And bam, everything's dead. It's been 15 seconds, and everything is dead. I don't know how much exactly we stole. Well, we stole some elixir for sure. But now I'm going to test something else. This is the other part of raiding. You also saw this in Let's Play number 9. So right here, we can look at how much we're stealing. And we are stealing about 80, it looks like, per attack. 90-ish? Yeah, 80, 90 per attack. Per attack being every arrow that the archer sends. So 90 per hit, that's definitely worth it to deploy some more archers to steal them, even though some of these guys are going to be fired at as they deploy. As you saw, I was picking off that corner building without taking any return fire, so it's obviously worth it. But these other ones, I'm going to have to take fire, and that's enough resources that I decided it's worth the archers to deploy. I'm not sure exactly how many resources he had left to steal before I deployed all these guys, but if you want, you can rewind the video about a minute and see how many he had after the initial attack, and see if, I don't know, maybe, what is it, like 25-ish archers I'm deploying here is worth it, and in my opinion, it definitely is. Okay, so we are down to just 2 wall breakers and 1 balloon, so we're going to surrender and see how we did. And the answer is very well. We got 70,000 elixir and 14,000 gold. I absolutely consider this a win for the guys we had to deploy, which is 2 giants, 16 goblins, 15 barbarians, and 27 archers. This is a little. This has just been a nice little guide on raiding so far. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. We are gonna head back to our base, and now we got all these resources. I recorded this right after part 9 and the previous parts 8, 9, and what did I do? I did 7, 8, and 9 right now, just before this. So, as you can see, the constructions are still underway. As you can see, actually, the archer, or the anti-air has been under construction for 13 minutes, which is not very long. So, both workers are tied up, so we can't actually spend any of these glorious resources we've managed to steal. But, we can save them for next time and hope not too many of them get stolen while we go offline. We will be finishing up our construction of the army camp in a few hours, so we'll be able to spend them then for sure. As it is, though, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys learned something, and sorry for messing up my audio recording, and have a great day. Bye.